Hey, baby. Tuesday, stop what you're doing for a second. Come get this stuff up out the grandma floor. You got a blue thing, some paper, plastic. Get it up.
Domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording is by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. The Outline of Science, a plain story simply told. Edited by J. Arthur Thompson. Introductory note. Was it not the great philosopher and mathematician Leibniz who said that the more knowledge advances, the more it becomes...
Can I go my tablet on YouTube?
No, I'd rather you not. Sit, please, listen to this book with me. Okay, there's plenty for you to do. Kids have the most... the best imagination. So go use it.
Blanket? Hey, can you bring that blanket in?
Yeah.
Go use your imagination, please. No.
Can I come in here?
If you're gonna listen to a book and not talk. Come. Hey, Tuti. You want to come and listen to this book with us?
Yes.
Come on. Come sit next to Mommy. Let's get some knowledge and make you really, really smart. Scoot over here. Wait. Ouch. All right. You can lay right there. We're going to wait for Terrence to finish up with his nonsense. And then we're going to listen to a book.
Mommy, can I listen to some spy music a little bit?
I can't put on spa music.
No, I was gonna put my headphones on. Hurry up.
I know, man, it's not done. I thought it was.
Hurry up.
I don't know how impatient you get. You gonna have to battle
Especially
me.
when it's not that important.
Yeah.
You gonna have to battle me because I'm finna battle with you once this is over with.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I'll give you a little 3-5 minutes. Because mine is much longer than that. But I guarantee you, as you start listening to it, you'll be pretty stuck.
I'm not gonna trip.
I'm
just gonna listen.
Mom, can you tell me when Terrence is done with that?
Why? You leaving me?
No.
Well, what you doing?
I was gonna take a nap while he's playing that.
No, don't take a nap. Just you won't wake up for the book. Just listen to the book. Just be patient. Please, this is a really good book for us to listen to as a family.
Okay.
And then hopefully we can convince Grandma to listen to it one of these days.
I'm pretty sure.
She is so hard to capture her attention.
Is she sick?
Mom,
Is she sick too? I feel
my
like everybody
allergies.
catching a cold.
My
Oh,
allergies
Mommy.
been like this for like
Mom,
3
can we while Terrence is doing that, can we play I Spy with my little eye?
Tutti, I can't spot anything right now.
I could turn on that.
No, Pookie, no. I'm comfortable. Just chill, boo, right here. Come on, please, find some patience. Pray to God. You haven't talked to him today. Talk to God. Have a thought. Close your eyes. Relax your heart. Relax your mind and get to a peaceful zone. Imagine the spa music is on and connect with God. Just relax. Don't worry. Calm down.
That's right, guys. Gonna be done in like 10 seconds.
Keep your mind at peace. Talk to God. Let him talk to you and listen. Let him talk to you.
Let's go.
It's okay. Shh. Are you guys ready? Alright, Tutti. Wrap up your prayers. Close your eyes. If God is talking to you, just tap me and let me know.
Yes.
And if you're ready to come out and wrapping up your prayers, you can let me know you're ready.
Just by tapping you?
Yeah. Okay, Mommy's gonna be starting the thing in 5, 4.
Possible to condense it into little books? Now the story is about
Alright, y'all.
Introduction to The Outline of Science. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording is by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. The Outline of Science, a plain story simply told. Edited by J. Arthur Thompson. Introductory note. Was it not the great philosopher and mathematician Leibniz who said that the more knowledge advances, the more it becomes impossible to condense it into little books? Now, this Outline of Science is certainly not a little book, and yet it illustrates part of the meaning of Leibniz's wise saying, "For here within reasonable compass there is a library of little books, an outline of many sciences." It will be profitable to the student in proportion to the discrimination with which it is used, for it is not in the least meant to be of the nature of an encyclopedia, giving condensed and comprehensive articles with a big full stop at the end of each. Nor is it a collection of primers, beginning at the very beginning of each subject and working methodically onwards. That is not the idea. What then is the aim of this book? It is to give the intelligent student citizen, otherwise called the man in the street, a bunch of intellectual keys by which to open doors which have been hitherto shut to him, partly because he got no glimpse of the treasures behind the doors, and partly because the portals were made forbidding by an unnecessary display of technicalities. Laying aside conventional modes of treatment and seeking rather to open up the subject as one might on a walk with a friend, the work offers the student what might be called informal introductions to the various departments of knowledge. To put it another way, the articles are meant to be clues which the reader may follow till he has left his starting point very far behind. Perhaps when he has gone far on his own, he will not be ungrateful to the simple book of instructions to travelers, which this outline of science is intended to be. The simple bibliographies appended to the various articles will be enough to indicate first books. Each article is meant to be an invitation to an intellectual adventure, and the short lists of books are merely finger posts for the beginning of the journey. We confess to being greatly encouraged by the reception that has been given to the English serial issue of The Outline of Science. It has been very hearty, we might almost say enthusiastic, for we agree with Professor John Dewey that the future of our civilization depends upon the widening spread and deepening hold of the scientific habit of mind. And we hope that this is what The Outline of Science makes for. Information is all to the good. Interesting information is better still. But best of all is the education of the scientific habit of mind. Another modern philosopher, Professor L.T. Hobhouse, has declared that the evolutionist mundane goal is the mastery by the human mind of the conditions, internal as well as external, of its life and growth. Under the influence of this conviction, The Outline of Science has been written. For life is not for science, but science for life. And even more than science, to our way of thinking, is the individual development of the scientific way of looking at things. Science is our legacy. We must use it if it is to be our very own. Introduction. There is abundant evidence of a widened and deepened interest in modern science. How could it be otherwise when we think of the magnitude and the eventfulness of recent advances? But the interest of the general public would be even greater than it is if the makers of new knowledge were more willing to expound their discoveries in ways that could be understanded of the people. No one objects very much to technicalities in a game or on board a yacht, and they are clearly necessary for terse and precise scientific description. It is certain, however, that they can be reduced to a minimum without sacrificing accuracy, when the subject in view is to explain the gist of the matter. So this outline of science is meant for the general reader who lacks both time and opportunity for special study, and yet would take an intelligent interest in the progress of science, which is making the world always new. The story of the triumphs of modern science is one of which man may well be proud. Science reads the secret of the distant star and anonymizes the atom, foretells the date of the comet's return, and predicts the kinds of chickens that will hatch from a dozen eggs, discovers the laws of the wind that bloweth where it listeth, and reduces to order the disorder of disease. Science is always setting forth on Columbus voyages, discovering new worlds and conquering them by understanding. For knowledge means foresight, and foresight means power. The idea of evolution has influenced all the sciences, forcing us to think of everything as with a history behind it, for we have traveled far since Darwin's day. The solar system, the earth, the mountain ranges, and the great deeps, the rocks and crystals, the plants and animals, man himself and his social institutions, all must be seen as the outcome of a long process of becoming. There are some 80-odd chemical elements on the earth today, and it is now much more than a suggestion that these are the outcome of an inorganic evolution, element giving rise to element, going back and back to some primeval stuff from which they were all originally derived, infinitely long ago. No idea has been so powerful a tool in the fashioning of new knowledge as this simple but profound idea of evolution, that the present is the child of the past and the parent of the future. And with the picture of a continuity...
Did you just hear that?
We are the child
It's
of the past.
perception. It's fucking perception. What you think your reality is now is the past, but it sets the foundation for the future.
Evolution from nebula to social systems comes a promise of an increasing control, a promise that man will become not only a more accurate student, but a more complete master of his world. It is characteristic of modern science that the whole world is seen to be more vital than before. Everywhere there has been a passage from the static to the dynamic. Thus, the new revelations of the constitution of matter, which we owe to the discoveries of men like Professor Sir J.J. Thomson, Professor Sir Ernest Rutherford, and Professor Frederick Soddy, have shown the very dust to have a complexity and an activity heretofore unimagined. Such phrases as dead matter and inert matter have gone by the board. The new theory of the atom amounts almost to a new conception of the universe. It bids fair to reveal to us many of nature's hidden secrets. The atom is no longer the indivisible particle of matter it was once understood to be. We now know that there is an atom within the atom, that what we thought was elementary can be dissociated and broken up. The present-day theories of the atom and the constitution of matter are the outcome of the comparatively recent discovery of such things as radium, the X-rays, and the wonderful revelations of such instruments as the spectroscope and other highly perfected scientific instruments. The advent of the electron theory has thrown a flood of light on what before was hidden or only dimly guessed at. It has given us a new conception of the framework of the universe. We are beginning to know and realize of what matter is made and what electric phenomena mean. We can glimpse the vast stores of energy locked up in matter. The new knowledge has much to tell us about the origin and phenomena, not only of our own planet, but other planets, of the stars and the sun. New light is thrown on the source of the sun's heat. We can make more than guesses as to its probable age. The great question today is there one primordial substance from which all the varying forms of matter have been evolved? But the discovery of electrons is only one of the revolutionary changes.
Bro, you know what this makes me sound like? Like there's going to be people that's going to be shipped, and only who can afford it, to different countries by rockets. Like, talking about 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 60, 70, 80 years from now. But do you hear science? You got Elon Musk making fucking rockets. Back up, Tootsie. You're making me uncomfortable. To the moon and to Mars, and he just deliberately told you they know, like, atoms within atoms, like, they can identify everything from every
Which give modern science an entrancing interest. As in chemistry and physics, so in the science of living creatures there have been recent advances that have changed the whole prospect. A good instance is afforded by the discovery of the hormones, or chemical messengers, which are produced by ductless glands, such as the thyroid, the suprarenal, and the pituitary, and are distributed throughout the body by the blood. The work of physiologists like Professor Starling and Professor Bayliss has shown that these chemical messengers regulate what may be called the pace of the body, and bring about that regulated harmony and smoothness of working which we know as health. It is not too much to say that the discovery of hormones has changed the whole of physiology. Our knowledge of the human body far surpasses that of the past generation. The persistent patience of microscopists and technical improvements like the ultramicroscope have greatly increased our knowledge of the invisible world of life. To the bacteria of a past generation have been added a multitude of microscopic animal microbes, such as that which causes sleeping sickness. The life histories and the weird ways of many important parasites have been unraveled, and here again knowledge means mastery. To a degree which has almost surpassed expectations, there has been a revelation of the intricacy of the stones and mortar of the house of life, and the microscopic study of germ cells has wonderfully supplemented the epoch-making experimental study of heredity which began with Mendel. It goes without saying that no one can call himself educated who does not understand the central and simple ideas of Mendelism and other new departures in biology. The procession of life through the ages and the factors in the sublime movement, the peopling of the earth by plants and animals, and the linking of life to life in subtle interrelations, such as those between flowers and their insect visitors, the life histories of individual types, and the extraordinary results of the new inquiry called experimental embryology. These also are among the subjects with which this outline will deal. The behavior of animals is another fascinating study, leading to a provisional picture of the dawn of mind. Indeed, no branch of science surpasses in interest that which deals with the ways and habits, the truly wonderful devices, adaptations, and instincts of insects, birds, and mammals. We no longer deny a degree of intelligence to some members of the animal world. Even the line between intelligence and reason is sometimes difficult to find. Fresh contacts between physiology and the study of man's mental life, precise studies of the ways of children and wild peoples, and new methods like those of the psychoanalyst must also receive the attention they deserve, for they are giving us a new psychology, and the claims of psychical research must also be recognized by the open-minded. The general aim of the outline is to give the reader a clear and concise view of the essentials of present-day science, so that he may follow with intelligence the modern advance and share appreciatively in man's continued conquest of his kingdom. Signed, J. Arthur Thompson. End of introduction.
Can you stop leaning? Because you're about to fall. Bro.
The first part of Chapter 1 of The Outline of Science. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This recording is by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina.
You all right?
The Outline of Science, edited by J. Arthur Thompson. Chapter 1, The Romance of the Heavens. First part, The Scale of the Universe, the Solar System. The story of the triumphs of modern science.
Bro, didn't I just tell you God told me a picture that I asked him to draw? And he's just talking about the mind and the solar system, and I just drew the damn sky. I mean, the space and the earth. I'm trying to tell you, God is putting me onto something. I don't know what it is. It's so much bigger than myself. It scares me, but then it doesn't worry me. But he's exposing me to shit that I would have never even put on my radar. Like, I asked God for many nights, many days, what is my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing. And I could never understand why I was always so determined, always ambitious, always driven. There's nothing that was ever going to detour me from, accomplishing anything that I put my mind to. And there was just like little rat droppings or like trails of linking knowledge, and I'm getting to this point, and it like sums up where or how we're supposed to start. When we start with, he's telling you the mind, like it's the first thing that should be attacked before we try to accomplish anything, because these motherfuckers have put a science around our way of life.
You didn't know that?
No. We all know that. But it's a difference of knowing it and sitting in life in it and actually decoding it, T.
Right, like these kids, us raising them, you gotta understand a lot of shit we didn't grow up on. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't grow up with, like, these kids grew up with. But at the same time...
This is not what these kids... This is far back than any generation you could ever even think about.
That's why I'm saying...
This is far back. I'm talking about far back from when our ancestors was over in Africa. The reason why they enjoyed our culture, they enjoyed our music, they enjoyed our art, they enjoyed every aspect of the black culture. And they enslaved us for 400 years to identify what was it about our group of people that were so ancient and so just culture capitalism. And now that they released this bill of 400 years of African American, it's pretty much saying it's the 400th year of commensurate of like not celebration, but like in remembrance of slavery and African Americans coming over from Africa.
Right.
So everything that we know of what life is now is completely obsolete. It's what they've been wanting us to know, and they've designed us to know as far as they wanted us to go. And this is digging deeper. This is something most of my people would never have taken the time to listen, to understand, and decode. They're deliberately telling you, like, it's out there. And we just sit and we don't decode it, unifying together to decode it. To build systems to break out of the invisible element of bad health, the invisible element of financial freedom, the invisible element of time freedom, the invisible element of free enterprise. Like, we are not free in no capacity, not even near close to it.
No.
To never.
No, because of this goddamn dollar.
Fuck the dollar. The dollar is obsolete again. It's just something for you to see.
That's a program.
No, it is the mind, T. Fuck the dollar. The dollar is just what operates the system on its own. The dollar is the engine.
Exactly.
But the whole scale of everything is psychology. It's habits. It's the psychology of our culture. That's what needs to be altered. Because they're doing contrary in order for us to continue being puppeted. Now let's listen.
It naturally opens with astronomy. The picture of the universe which the astronomer offers to us is imperfect. The lines he traces are often faint and uncertain. There are many problems which have been solved. There are just as many about which there is doubt, and notwithstanding our great increase in knowledge, there remain just as many which are entirely unsolved. The problem of the structure and duration of the universe, said the great astronomer Simon Newcomb, is the most far-reaching with which the mind has to deal. Its solution may be regarded as the ultimate object of stellar astronomy, the possibility of reaching, which has occupied the minds of thinkers since the beginning of civilization. Before our time, the problem could be considered only from the imaginative or the speculative point of view. Although we can today attack it to a limited extent by scientific methods, it must be admitted that we have scarcely taken more than the first step towards the actual solution. What is the duration of the universe in time? Is it fitted to last forever in its present form, or does it contain within itself the seeds of dissolution? Must it, in the course of time, in we know not how many millions of ages, be transformed into something very different from what it now is? This question is intimately associated with the question whether the stars form a system. If they do, we may suppose that system to be permanent in its general features. If not, we must look further for our conclusions. The heavenly bodies. The heavenly bodies fall into two very distinct classes so far as their relation to our earth is concerned. The one class, a very small one, comprises a sort of colony of which the earth is a member. These bodies are called planets, or wanderers. There are 8 of them, including the Earth, and they all circle round the Sun. Their names, in the order of their distance from the Sun, are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and of these Mercury, the nearest to the Sun, is rarely seen by the naked eye. Uranus is practically invisible, and Neptune quite so. These 8 planets, together with the Sun, constitute, as we have said, a sort of little colony. This colony is called the solar system. The second class of heavenly bodies are those which lie outside the solar system. Every one of those glittering points we see on a starlit night is at an immensely greater distance from us than is any member of the solar system. Yet the members of this little colony of ours, judged by terrestrial standards, are at enormous distances from one another. If a shell were shot in a straight line from one side of Neptune's orbit to the other, it would take 500 years to complete its journey. Yet this distance, the greatest in the solar system as now known, excepting the far swing of some of the comets, is insignificant compared to the distances of the stars. One of the nearest stars to the Earth that we know of is Alpha Centauri, estimated to be some 25 million millions of miles away. Sirius, the brightest star in the firmament, is double this distance from the Earth. We must imagine the colony of planets to which we belong as a compact little family swimming in an immense void. At distances which would take our shell not hundreds, but millions of years to traverse, we reach the stars, or rather, a star, for the distances between stars are as great as the distances between the nearest of them and our Sun. The Earth, the planet on which we live, is a mighty globe bounded by a crust of rock many miles in thickness. The great volumes of water which we call our oceans lie in the deeper hollows of the crust. Above the surface, an ocean of invisible gas, the atmosphere, rises to a height of about 300 miles, getting thinner and thinner as it ascends. Except when the winds rise to a high speed, we seem to live in a very tranquil world. At night, when the glare of the sun passes out of our atmosphere, the stars and planets seem to move across the heavens with a stately and solemn slowness. It was one of the first discoveries of modern astronomy that this movement is only apparent. The apparent creeping of the stars across the heavens at night is accounted for by the fact that the Earth turns upon its axis once in every 24 hours. When we remember the size of the Earth, we see that this implies a prodigious speed. In addition to this, the Earth revolves around the Sun at a speed of more than 1,000 miles a minute. Its path around the Sun, year in, year out, measures about 580 million miles. The Earth is held closely to this path by the gravitational pull of the Sun, which has a mass 333,432 times that of the Earth. If at any moment the Sun ceased to exert this pull, the Earth would instantly fly off into space, straight in the direction in which it was moving at the time, that is to say, at a tangent. This tendency to fly off at a tangent is continuous. It is the balance between it and the Sun's pull which keeps the Earth to her almost circular orbit. In the same way, the 7 other planets are held to their orbits. Circling round the Earth, in the same way as the Earth circles round the Sun, is our Moon. Sometimes the Moon passes directly between us and the Sun and cuts off the light from us. We then have a total or partial eclipse of the Sun. At other times, the Earth passes directly between the Sun and the Moon and causes...
Look at this. So the bill that Thomas was just telling me about, the 400 years of African American, right? So they put together a commission. And this commission, it says the duties, the commission shall, 1, plan, develop, and carry out programs, activities throughout the United States. Lily, I don't know why you're doing that to my hair. Like, comb it down and just, that's it. That's the only thing you can do to it. Don't scruff it, don't braid it, don't twist it. That makes my hair not be straight anymore, Pookie. I love you.
Where's my thing for my hair? She gone.
Okay, so it says, 1, plan, develop, and carry out programs and activities throughout the United States. A, appropriate for the commemoration, which is the on behalf of or like in remembrance of, to recognize and highlight the resilience and contribution of African Americans since 1619. C, to acknowledge the impact that slavery and laws that enforce racial discrimination had on the United States. And D, to educate the public about the arrival of African Americans in the United States and the contributions of African Americans to the United States. Do you hear this shit? 400 years aligns with what the Bible says, that our people he will come back and relieve our people from freedom. 400 years ago, there was an agreement from our nation of people to surrender who we are, what we are, everything we will become for 400 years. It says it in the Bible. And he will punish us for our lack of following who he is. And those who wake up and understand that he is coming back to rise his people again, which is blacks, the Israelites, he will set free. And those who do not come to the forefront and follow him, once he comes back after 400 years to relieve the Israelites, they will become and continue to be enslavement by those who followed him and were set free from his imprisonment. We sacrificed 400 years, and they're finally telling us, we're going to let you know where you come from. We're going to do everything that we can do to have the commemorance of your people. You have sacrificed many years, and this has played X amount of roles in the United States. It is time, this year specifically, for blacks to rise. It also says, let's keep reading. 2, encourage civil and patriotic, historical, educational, artistic, religion, economic, and other organizations throughout the United States to organize and participate in anniversary activities to extend understanding and appreciation of A, the significance of the arrival of Africans in the United States, and B, the contributions of African Americans to the United States. 3, provide technical assistance to states, localities, and nonprofit organizations to further the commemoration. 4, coordinate and facilitate for the public scholarly research on, publication about, and interpretation of A, the arrival of African Americans in the United States, and B, the contributions of African Americans to the United States. 5, ensure that the commemoration provides a lasting legacy and long-term public benefit by assisting in development of appropriate programs. And 6, help ensure that the observance of the commemoration are inclusive and appropriately recognize the experiences and heritage of all individuals present at the arrival of African Americans in the United States. Section 4 of the Commission meeting. Initial meeting, not later than 30 days after the date of which all members of the Commission have been appointed. The Commission shall hold the initial meeting of the Commission. Meetings shall meet at least 3 times per year, or at the call of chairman or the majority of the member of the Commission. Wow. First of all, everybody that's in this commission, you think is what? White. They're setting our programs. They're setting all of the incentives. We're going to highlight you. And we're going to do this for you and do that for you, for all of you, what you've sacrificed for 400 years. But we're still not going to give you the much needed knowledge that you're supposed to get, that scientifically is there for you not to have. Bro, no one's digging this deep. And if they are, they're sitting back because we set trends. Why hasn't it become a trend? Because we don't know. We're so ignorant. And I swear God is telling me, this is your year, Sharina. The people will follow you like they did when I was 17. Every fucking body. Oh, my leg. He said, Sharina, you must lead. My leg fell asleep. Yeah, hit it. Okay, come on, let's read real quick. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, so, a majority of voting members shall constitute a quorum, but a lesser number may hold meetings. For whatever that means. Election. The commission shall elect the chairperson and the vice chairperson of the commission on an annual basis. Absence of the chairman, the vice chairman shall serve as the chairman in absence of the chairman person. Voting. The commission shall act only on an affirmative vote of a majority of the members of the commission. Okay, here it is. Commission's powers. You ready? Gifts. The commission may solicit, accept, use, and dispose of gifts, baskets, or diverses of money or other property for the aiding of facilitating the work of the commission. Now, this is key. Anytime big corporations pay political parties, they take power. So if they set gifts, that means they are okay with accepting any form of donations for people that's looking to win over power. Now, do we have that power? Not individually, but we have that power as what? As a whole. It says appointment of advisory committees. Who's appointing the fucking advisory committee? The commission may appoint such advisory committees as the commission determines the necessary to act out this act. Now, whatever powerful motherfucker think that's going to perform the act of this act, got another motherfucking thing coming. Authorization of act. The commission may authorize any member of or employee of the commission to take any action that the commission is authorized to take under this action. That's interesting. It says in general, the commission may procedures, supplies, services, and property, and make or enter into contracts, leases, or other legal agreements to carry out this act, except that a contract, lease, or other legal agreements may or end into by commission shall not extend beyond the date of the termination of the commission. Limitations. The commission may not purchase real property. Wonder why that is. Postal Service. The commission may use the United States mails in the same manner and under the same conditions as other agencies of federal government. I wonder how the federal government uses our postal system. That's interesting. Grants and technical assistance. The commission may 1. Provide grants in amounts that not to exceed $20,000 per grant to communities and nonprofits organizations for the use and development programs to assist in the commemoration. So, bam. We can get $20,000 for our community, and if we come together and put together a nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm. Per grant, so you can win as many as you want. Please don't sit and chew in my ear, Bookie. Provide grants to research.
That's my thing for my hair.
Look at it.
Ponytail holder.
Get that out of your mouth.
No, you had it on.
Put it up there, Pookie. Put it up.
You had it.
No, you had it on the couch. Keep on.
Provide grants to research and scholarly organizations to research, publish, and distribute information relating to the arrival of African Americans in the United States, and provide technical assistance to states, localities, and nonprofit organizations to further the commemoration.
You got up and came in the room, you never gave it back to me.
Huh?
We came in the room, you never gave it back to me.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. You want to be sitting on it.
Okay. So let's look at this. It says, in general, except as provided in paragraph 2, a member of the commission shall serve without compensation. So these people are serving without compensation. Federal employees, a member of the commissions who is an officer or employee of the federal government shall serve without compensation other than the compensation received for the services of the member as an officer or employee of the federal government. Travel expenses. A member of the commission shall be allowed travel expenses, including per diem, in lieu of subsistence at rates authorized by an employee of an agency under subchapter 1 of Chapter 57 of Title 5 United States Code while away from the home or regular places of business of the member in the performance of the duties of the commission. They can write all that shit off.
That shit crazy.
Director and staff. In general, the chairman of the commission may, without regard to the civil service laws, including regulations, nominate an executive director to enable the commission to perform the duties of the commission. These niggas knew 400 years was coming, and they couldn't stop the inevitable.
Right.
So they aligned a committee, a group of fucking people that's going to control what they're going to give back. But they're not, it's not all on Fox News about the 400 year shit contract. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about it. My damn leg is asleep.
You need to work them legs, girl.
I know, right? Come on, you gonna be my personal trainer? I need some motivation. I ain't got no motivation in that area.
I'll get in the gym. You got no motivation down there?
Nope. Because I'm cute, I'm smart, and, you know, one of these days I need to get healthier. Nah, I'm celibate.
How long that's been?
A few months.
Few months?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
No, I think I had, like, maybe once or twice in between, like, 6 or 7 months. But on a regular, it's not getting stretched. Huh?
She's just not liking it?
No, God told me it's not my focus.
Oh.
And wait till I'm married, because I want to have 3 more kids.
Want to have 3 more?
Mm-hmm.
For real?
I have more than that if God told me to, but that's what I want.
Why you never jump? It's not like I could have sworn you only 1 or 2.
I didn't want any, actually.
Okay, right. Where did this 5 come from?
My knowledge.
So
As I become smarter, I want to raise a new generation of leaders.
you know, ask my grandma why she had 7.
But we can't stop at, you know, oh, this is what I want. I have to actually, you know, roll it out and give my children a platform to continue pushing my legacy. All right, let's finish this real quick. So we only got 1 more page. It says, in general, the chairperson of the commission may, without regard to the civil service laws, including regulation, nominate a board of directors and enable the commission to perform the duties of commission. Confirmation of executive director. The employment of an executive director shall be subject to confirmation of the commission. In general, except as provided in paragraph 2, the commission may fix the compensation of the executive director and other personnel with regard to provisions of the Chapter 51, Subchapter 3 of Chapter 53 of Title 5, United States Code relating to classification of positions in General Schedule pay rate. Maximum rate of pay. The rate of pay for executive directors and other personnel should not exceed the rate payable for level 5 of the executive schedule under section 5316 of Title 5 United States Code. Wonder what that says. Detail of government employees, federal employees, detail at the request of the Commission. The head of any federal agency may detail on reimbursable or non-reimbursable basis and the personnel of the agency to the Commission to assist the Commission in carrying out the duties of the Commission under this Act. Civil service status. The detail of an employee under subparagraph A shall be without interruption or loss of civil service status or privilege. Okay, I want to get to the meat of this real quick. It says volunteer and uncompensated service. Notwithstanding section 1342 of Title 31 U.S. Code. I need a picture of that because I need to look that up. About volunteering. Support services. Oh, wait. The Commission may accept and use such voluntary and uncompensated services such as Commission determines to be necessary. In general, the Secretary shall provide to Commission on a reimbursement basis such administrative support services as the Commission may request. Any reimbursement under the paragraph shall be credited to the appropriate fund and amount used for paying the amounts of reimbursement. Plans report. Strategic plan. The Commission shall prepare a strategic plan for the activities of the Commission carried out under this Act. Final report. No, not later than July 1st, 2020, the Commission shall complete this and submit to Congress a final report that contains A. Summary of the activities of the Commission. 2. A final accounting of funds received and expended by the Commission. And 3. The findings and recommendations of the Commission. So you're talking about we got how many years? To all of 2018, 19, and all of 2020. Well, not all of 2020, half of 2020.
Damn.
To make a fucking difference.
Really, it's gonna go down. Serena, me and this lady was talking.
Listen, 1 second. It says termination of Commission. Date of termination. The Commission shall terminate on July 1st, 2020. Transfer of documents and materials before the date of determination specific in subsection A. The Commissioner shall...
We're finna go to war.
Bro, listen, let me explain something to you.
We're finna go to war.
I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what it is. Like,
We finna go to
this
war.
shit is like
the
legit.
lady told me, she was like, man, listen, our generation, period, like, we gonna live to see this shit.
It's gonna be World War III.
We gonna live to see this shit.
It's gonna be World War III. I think
And
so.
as I was a little boy, you know how when 2000 came around, the year 2000,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody was all excited and da-da-da, but we was still kind of young. And I still couldn't understand that shit. I was just like, damn. And people was like, oh, the world's supposed to end, but it didn't. I'm like, oh. But as a kid, I was like, man, I always had that. You know, we gonna see that shit. We gonna see all this shit.
They said something. Okay, so. And then this little snippet says a document on the Central Intelligence Agency website make an explosive if outlash claim Adolf Hitler survived World War II. Survived World War II. September 19, 1955, by the trusted friend who served under his command in Europe and who is presently residing in Microbial, I don't even know how to say that, acting intelligence chief of Venezuela, sent to supervise days later, The source of what Thomas was talking about was pretty much saying how the reason why so many of these large companies are trying to take, huge steps to dominate our economic market is the difference of, going into war. Because at some point we have to stop, like as a culture, because we drive everything. They said in Nelson report, it says the black woman has a black girl magic. They don't know how we do it, but it's her style, it's her walk, it's her art, it's her music, it's her everything that drives mainstream capitalism and mainstream consumerism. We set that standard. So now we need to be campaigning Black Girl Magic, their science. Because it's been a science for so long. But now decoding the science, you have a bill that they're prepared to do something for us, but we have to be prepared for it. Mm-hmm. And if we're not, 2020 is going to come around and everybody who hasn't woke the fuck up is going to be looking stupid as fuck. God said it. He, like, in the Bible, the man said, what does the Bible about 400 years? Let's read what the Bible says. Genesis 15:13. The Lord said to him, know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there.
That's it.
What happens now, Tom? I mean, I called you Thomas Jesus. He must be talking about me. T, like, what happens now for real? He said unto Abraham, know of a certainty that thy seed, meaning we are his seed. We are the great chosen. We are his chosen one. That the land, says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a certainty that thy seed shall be a stranger in land that is not theirs, and shall serve them. And they shall afflict them 400 years. This is our time this year, T. The fucking government just told you the inevitable. They know they can't change and alter life science. It was coming all along.
Damn, man. What we gonna do?
It was coming all along, T.
400 years. I need to go find that blunt up.
Come on, man. I need to smoke too. I blew your mind, didn't I? T blew mine yesterday, nigga.
So he looking too?
Huh?
He into that shit too?
Yeah, man. Me and T be, like, I'm talking about straight same page. Like, oh, man, I love T's mind. Now, he's not much knowledgeable as I am, but he got into the Bible. That's how he came and found that route. So he came to me, I got the knowledge, and he's been very spiritually in touch. So when he came to me about the 400 years, and I'm watching politics, I'm watching how businesses, I'm watching what's going on.
Are you gonna take Terrence home?
You gonna take Terrence home?
No. Mom, I just told Terrence why we've been suppressed for over 400 years.
Oh my God.
And how we are going to get out of it. Think about it. I want you to give you an example. Just follow me here for a second. No, not yet. We're about to go get high. Exactly. Right now. So, think about it this way. There's only... Wait 1 second. Listen. Don't move. Just listen to me. Hear me out. It's not funny. Listen to me. Nelson said, listen to me. She is. And she thinks it's funny.
What'd you say?
Nelson...
What'd you say?
He said he thinks that you think it's funny. You taking it as a joke.
Mom, can I
I'm not going nowhere. I'm going on the patio, baby. I'm going to smoke, so no. So listen for a second. Stop talking. Nelson reported that black women hold the power over mainstream consumerism. It's our black girl magic. They came out with that black girl magic. I don't know where it rooted from. Matter of fact,
Black girl magic.
Magic, yeah. Who started black girl magic trend? Black girl magic, Wikipedia. Let's see what it says. The concept and movement that popularized by Kashawn Thompson in 2003. The concept was born as a way to celebrate the beauty, power, and resilience of black women, as described by Julie Wilson from the Huffington Post, and to congratulate black women on their accomplishment, referring to a speech made by Michelle Obama at the Black Girls Rocks Award, and explains that black women around the world persevering despite the adversities inspired her to spread the concept of black girl magic. With these, we're going on the patio. What are you putting your shoes on for? With these women in mind, Thomas created the social media hashtag and claiming. Okay, so now that popularized for a second about congratulating black women, right? So socially, there's only been 1% of all entrepreneurs, women, black women, that have been able to access venture capitalists. Okay? Now, this is capital that VCs put their money together. Now, think about it this way. They already said scientifically, report-wise, that women, black women, carry a lot of power in trends and spending money. So why would they give you VC money for you to go and dominate an industry? Because we know you're powerful. We know you can pretty much capitalize on any industry, art, sports, music, anything. It's our culture. It's been our culture for a very, very long time that they love. And what happens for the past, first of all, the bill that him and I just went over, they've known for 400 years at some point biblically, human nature, science, that we was going to have to persevere and we were going to be released from God's imprisonment after 400 years. So since the dot-com bubble, they've suppressed, we've been suppressed, but they've created systems in place that Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Uber, these huge companies that every powerful white man owns a piece of, dominates our spending habits. We have no market share in any of that nonsense that we use every freaking day. No wonder why they wouldn't give us no money, because we would gain market share. But now it's the inevitable. Now they can't do shit other than continue suppressing our knowledge, and that's my purpose. Like, they telling you straight up, like Beyonce's dad says he didn't think that she would be as big as she is if she was any darker. Like, they put fear in black women not loving who they are, not enjoying their color, their skin, so that we wouldn't persevere to step up in entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship in black women has been on the rise for the past 5 years, since 2013. You see, 5 years, honestly, that's what it's been. This is our year, mommy. God said it.
I believe it.
And if you sit back and be ignorant if you want to, you have missed out just on every platform that those white folks created. Huh?
Don't insult me.
No, I'm not. I'll tell Terrence.
Don't insult me.
I'll tell anybody.
Don't insult
God,
me.
listen to me. The Bible says, for those who do not follow my word, when I return, you will still be enslaved by those who have been given all of what you deserve for 400 years. The bill specifically says it's going to pretty much be a commencement of the sacrifices black African Americans have made for the growth of America. Like, thanks. Now we're going to come in and we're going to give money to the state to put in programs and put in social programs and communities, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And they're telling you in the bill.
Battery light's not working.
Okay, baby, it's okay. Don't worry. And they're telling you in the bill, by 2020, they're going to see what's working, what's not working, and ultimately finalize and formulate a committee that controls the 400-year African American Commission Act.
Ow.
It's a commission of white people of power.
Ow.
Businesses
You
are
hit me
getting
in the
on
head.
these boards.
Mommy, you just hit me in the head.
And they're blocking every advancement for our people.
Mommy, you just hit me in the head.
I apologize, baby. You know I did not do it on purpose. Do you want some attention? Give me a kiss.
Okay, so
What now, right?
yeah.
You need to tell somebody.
Oh,
It needs to become a grapevine. The same way in slavery we spoke through songs. We must speak to our people.
Excuse me.
Like it may feel like, no, you may not. No, I just said no, so you don't need to explain to me what you were trying to do. It needs to be a rapid viral presence. They're telling you 2 years. Anybody that sit back and don't know that they're on a 2-year, and y'all be like most people be like, Shireen, like you need to slow down. No, there's no time to enjoy life. There's no time. Those are distractions.
enjoy life.
No.
You gotta enjoy life.
No. That's your perception. And that's the perception that they want you to believe. It's a distraction.
no.
It's a distraction. You must persevere first, and then you enjoy the fruits of your labor.
And I understand that part.
You
still
must
have
be
to
able to
enjoy life.
harvest first. No, enjoying life is spending money. Enjoying life is doing exactly what the systems haven't been in place for you to operate in. We haven't for 400 years been able to enjoy life. It's been imprisonment. Our enjoying life is my generation, the kids. I'm sorry, Mom, you've already given 50 years of your life of the 400. Like, it's only so much you can go according to God's timeline. So it's your job to make sure that we create generational knowledge and wealth now. So that kids of Teleas, she's going to enjoy life. We are not to enjoy life. We can't. This is just the beginning, starting line for our ancestors. It is time to unify. And you're taking it. I'm being so serious.
I believe you. I understand where you're coming from.
Don't understand where I'm coming from. I don't want you to see where I'm coming from.
What you want me to do?
I want you to be humming and going in the same direction.
Okay, so tell me how I get there.
So you stop watching TV, number one.
Oh no, you're not gonna stop watching TV. That's not enslaving me.
Cool. If you think that way,
That's not enslaving me.
is marketing not enslaving you?
Marketing?
Yes.
What do you mean is it enslaving?
Are they not psychologically controlling you by your buying and your habits?
What are you talking about?
Psychology. Our systems are in place to control the mind. And it's unconsciously that you control
You
it.
need to get your audience. Get you an Afro-American audience. Then that way you can spread the word. You need to host some
And she
I love
laughing.
this lady, man. For
Terrence is making me laugh.
real. Nah.
Terrence is making me laugh. What I'm saying? It's you have power. You have knowledge. You have wisdom. At 24 years old, you're smart. Get you an audience. Spread the word. How you gonna get the word out there?
She telling you the truth, though.
How you gonna get the word out there?
Telling you the
How
truth.
are we gonna get the word out there?
Mommy, can you help me get up?
You explaining it better than
Where you
anybody
going?
right now. She telling you the truth.
You're not going with me. No, you're not.
Please.
She's telling me the truth?
Yeah.
How am I going to get the word out there?
Yes.
She's telling you the truth by telling you to get an audience.
No. I know what I got to do.
No,
But
it's
I
not
got-
about
You need to
you.
get an
No,
audience.
no.
You still need to
It's
get
not.
an audience.
It's definitely not
You're
about.
supposed to spread
Whoa,
the word.
whoa, both of y'all. Stop.
Aren't you supposed to spread the word?
Stop.
Aren't you supposed to spread the word?
You are equally supposed to spread the word.
Exactly.
So you must become knowledgeable enough to be able to continue the grapevine without it getting sliced up from ignorance.
Right. Because by the time it gets
Me
to the
setting
next
an
person,
audience is
it's
not.
gonna be turned all the way around, ain't it?
That's my point. So you must be knowledgeable
So-
enough to spread it to the next individual.
Absolutely. So during the time of your audience teaching, I'll be right there with you. I'm 100% on your team. You teach, I learn.
You're still getting away from the fact that I'm teaching you that you need to let go of your TV, and you're telling me no.
Well, I mean, you're not going to be able to just come in someone's life and say, you know what? You need to stop watching TV, no radio, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do that. See, I have to,
No, I don't know. So please explain it to me so I can have an
I have
understanding.
to have the desire that you have in your life. That has to be in my life. It can't be just a word passed to me and, oh yeah, I'm going to stop watching TV.
You need an audience though. For the way you
Just
preaching
because you
that
said
word,
it, I have to feel what you feel first. It's like two people, one is in love and one is not. If I'm not feeling it, how can I feel what you feel? I have to mentally be there, mentally. You understand what I'm saying? Tell your mother I love her. Go inside, yeah. I'll be up there in a minute. Ooh, Lord. What God got for me, baby, is for me. And what He got for you, is for you. You can't change none of that.
You believe that?
Oh, yeah. Sure. What He had for me, He got for me.
He has one thing for one person, and that is
Did I not
all.
just say that?
No.
What God got for me,
Excuse me.
He has for me.
Excuse me.
What He had for you,
Excuse me.
He got for you.
Excuse me.
You can stop.
We are of one, which creates one being, one God, and one whole.
everybody mind don't move the same way.
That's my point.
So what you saying?
So I will not allow my mother to be oblivious to thinking anything other. It is that.
What you said, what you just said a minute ago. You was like, it's for our kids.
So stop. You've been annoying.
Everything else is over.
No, that's not the same thing. But she's saying what's for her is what's due to her.
That
And
ain't what
it's-
I'm saying. That's not
Everything
what I'm
that's
saying.
for you is for you.
No. That's not. That's
What-
So what
absolutely
God got
not.
in store is for her, is for her.
Yes.
That's inevitable, Mom. But if you're missing out on how to get there and how to obtain that, then that is obsolete.
I'm
You
not
gonna
going
tell
to miss
people that
out.
passed away already.
You can't tell them
That
anything.
didn't live. What you trying to
They've
say?
already sacrificed. Didn't the bill just tell you that?
Okay.
What bill,
So there
Sheree?
you go.
Didn't the bill just tell you that?
Which bill?
We've already
The
sacrificed.
400 Years of African American Committee Act.
We've already
The bill that puts a committee around celebrating the commemorates the memory of black enslavement for 400 years. We've been enslaved for 400 years as of 2017. Let me tell you when a bill came out. I think September of last year. It marked 400 freaking years of enslavery. So that means in 2001, 2003, 2008, 2016, 2017, they're deliberately acknowledging that we've been in slavery. Oh, by the way, because the Bible, see, politicians are aligned with a higher being. Science, it's a higher being. And they understood 400 years ago when they first did it, the inevitable. They were going to have to release us from slavery because science is releasing us from slavery. So they create systems that allow them to stay on top. And that system is in this bill that's grouping people into a committee that can control how much access to wealth, how much access to resources, how much access to everything that every African American have, that they're going to plunge into every city and say, here, black folks, here's an act that says
So
we're
what are they giving us?
a damn thing. We got 2 years to figure it out. They say July 1st, 2020 will be the mark of the day of the commission will be ended. They're testing. They don't know
To
yet
see if we respond.
how we respond, the who, what, when, where, and why. They don't know. Black women are already showing great rise in education, a great rise in entrepreneurship, and a great rise in our average income. If we don't wake up now as a society and stop being distracted from all the micro entities that they put in our face deliberately, The narrative that they put out in the open for us to psychologically freaking believe, to put fear in our heart when the Bible deliberately says, do not fear for who I am. For if you worry, you are telling me that you don't believe in my capabilities. And you think it's funny and it hurts my feelings when I'm telling you, I'm telling my best friend, I'm telling the people that is closer to me.
I think it's funny because I smile, I laugh. There's nothing funny about what you're saying.
That's fear. Crying to keeping from laughing. Facing fear, it's facing the truth. Facing what's in front of you.
Can I keep this?
I'm right here. Okay.
I need it.
Right here. You obviously don't have no faith in me. And I'm sorry about that.
I don't. That's not what I said. Nothing of what I said averaged out to not having faith in you.
Okay, I'm going to use it.
I'm talking about your habits. That's all I said.
You're not going with me. No, I have to be alone. Do you...
Can we go smoke? Yeah, let's go smoke. That lighter? I need a lighter. How did we smoke earlier?
You need to stop doing this.
How did we smoke earlier? Oh, you got a lighter.
Shut up.
For what we need to do.
Ouch!
You know?
What are we really supposed to be doing? No, you. I want to stop now. You gotta move all of that. Phone. Move it.
Just one picture.
So lazy, I know, right? Oh, Lil Wayne. What's Sean Poke? Come give me a hug.
So you get to go to the room. You gotta drop me off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come into it? Can I come into it when you drop him off on me? Huh?
No.
Yeah.
Alright. Watch out.
Hey, Mom, can get out.
Mommy.
Hey, Mom, gonna get out.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the glitter glue still wet?
Excuse me. Put this down. Thank you. Excuse us. Go watch TV.
Can I go eat something?
Yes.
Thank you.
What you gonna eat?
Um,
Let's go stop and get something. Dang.
Make me something.
huh?
Make me something.
We ain't got nothing to ask you.
Let's take some glitter.
Make something.
Just hold on. Wait till I finish and I'm gonna make us something to eat.
Can I get some cut?
I just said wait. Goodbye. Thank you.
Can I have a strawberry?
Yes. Think about it this way. Just like we said Black Panther. They know black habits are spending money at the movies, top sector. So what white folks do? Okay, we'll take $500 million and go give you a badass black movie to promote.
It's just like marketing and all that shit.
To promote your happiness of black girl power and black this and black that. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna give us another 50 fucking million for coming to see that shit. Versus my black talented actors, my black talented producers, my black talented directors, my black talented film, putting together funds.
Jay-Z and what's his name?
I wish if I go on every major
Jay-Z and Diddy.
Diddy, Jay-Z, any of the motherfuckers. If I don't see this 400 African American Year Commissionary Act on their page, then I know they all fucking stupid.
Listen, you need to sit down. You need to record everything you just said.
I've already been recording for the past hour and 20 minutes, my nigga. I ain't stupid.
Okay, listen. Well, you need to send that shit. You need to send that shit to our black powerful people. People that are more powerful than you. You need to send that shit to them. People will sit down and listen to that shit. put the right headlines on that shit. Let them know what it is. You know, it ain't nothing that you ain't trying to do this or do that. You trying to let a bitch know. You trying to get a message out. And shit, you can't just get a bitch to pull more people together than they could. So hey, why not put it through them? They get that shit together. Like your mama said, you need an audience. That's true. She might not be putting it in the right way or form, but all in reality, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we all gotta be on one page. But guess what? The way you
People are gonna have the hardest.
The way you just preach that shit, I can't preach your words. You see what I'm saying? The reason why you need an audience, you gotta help.
You have to change your habits and tell other people to change their habits.
Understood. You
right.
Like
you changing your habits will adapt to the environment of people that you surround.
Understood.
Everybody has at least 3 people that's in their environment that they play a huge influential aspect in their lives.
Understood.
You change your habits, you'll change the 3 people. Those 3 people will change the core 3 people of those 3 people. And it becomes a viral effect. People start talking, they'll talk about it. We come up with a hashtag. That's the hashtag needs to be said.
Like you the first of those 3 people.
Hashtag it, nigga. Black Girl Magic, their science. People in the villages, the people in the cotton fields, they spoke messages through song. Now black people have an opportunity to speak a message secretly. And they must listen and use the science of today's science to deprogram and decode our enslavement.
Just got out like that.
She be swiveling.
She got her car wash too.
You said, did she get a car wash? I don't think so. Barry just washed my car yesterday. Huh? Okay, so I just found an article. It says, why the 400 Years of African American History Act is so important. Nat Turner, Nassau physicist, Katherine Johnson, innovator, In recent years, we've commemorated the English and Spanish heritage of our nation's founding. In 2007, we marked the 400th anniversary of the founding of Jamestown, Virginia, by English colonists. In 2015, we celebrated the 450th anniversary of the founding of St. Augustine's, Florida. Both the English and Spanish commemoration include the activities sponsored by federal commissions, which are voted on and passed by Congress. August of 2019, will mark 400 years since the first documented arrival of Africans who came to English America by way of Point Comfort, Virginia. So we haven't even hit the 400 years yet. They're just now creating the commission exchange for it. So that means I have until August of 2019 to unify my people. Because that's when it was scientifically aligned with the stars of the mark of our people touching the soil. Between 2019 and July 2020, they'll have enough time to identify the science of our people, where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing it, the pricings that they should put those structures on according to how much money we're going to be making, understand the projections of every aspect of our fucking lives. They have enough data and science to be able to then identify the plan of action come July 1st, 2020. Everybody will be in place. Every aspect of the commission exchange, like every person in there will be appointed.
Yeah, somebody texted you.
Let me see the lighter. I'm sorry, I'm chiefing in here. You can hit it. Okay, go. What is that? Ew. Yes, baby, I do. I was just messing with you. Not only is it appropriate to establish a commission that would recognize the contributions of African Americans, but it is historically significant to acknowledge that the 20 and odd Africans, as it was recorded, were the first recorded group of Africans to be sold as involuntary laborers or indentured servants to the English colonies. So there were 20 of them. On Thursday, February 11th, I joined leaders from NAACP, Senate Mark Warren, D. Virginia, Reps Bobby Scott, D. Virginia, and Don Breyer, D. Virginia, and the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Rep. G.K. Butterfield, to introduce the 400 Years of African American History Act. So our people came together to do it. But we're still not even going to be able to have control over what we get out of it. They came to the state, and this is what they're asking for. This bill will be established. This bill would establish a commission to plan programs and activities across the country to recognize the arrival and influence of Africans and their descendants since Africans in America since 1619. The commission would be charged with highlighting the resilience and contributions of African Americans, as well as acknowledging the painful impact that slavery and other atrocities have had on our nation. The 400-year history of African Americans is full of treaties that have been shaped the black experience in America. Our experience is going to change and should be remembered as moral catastrophes. I can't even say that. Yeah, I can't even say the darn word. Anyways. Yeah, catastrophes. There we go. However, that is not the whole story of African American history. African Americans have contributed to the economic, academic, social, cultural, and moral well-being of this nation. Yes. Yeah. I want to hit that again, so okay. Without African Americans, some of Americans' crowning achievements would not have been possible. Would American moral leaderships be as strong without Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., or Thurgood Marshall? They all fucking died. They all got killed by the government taking their position,
Right.
analyzing their DNA.
As soon as a bitch trying to put that shit out, oh, get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's too soon.
Yeah. We still got 30, 50, 60, 70 more years.
And they get the right to.
And they get the right to.
That's why people like this, like you, gotta be careful what you're doing.
I know. I know. It scares me, but I've been recording this shit for weeks now. But it doesn't fear me anymore because God said it's almost to end.
Right. Think it feared them? They knew what they was doing. They knew what they was bringing.
Yeah.
They
sacrificed. Yeah.
But somebody got to start making the motive, keeping it going.
Yeah.
Remind you. Let me remind y'all this. Y'all this. Every time they pull y'all a little deeper, I gotta remind y'all.
Without African Americans,
somebody.
Okay, hold on. Would American literature be as prolific without the giants of Harlem Renaissance?
That's why we got an MLK Day.
Would American music have conquered the world without pioneers like Robert Jameson, Louis Armstrong, Marian Anderson, and James Brown? Would we claim America as the most innovative nation on earth without the innovation of modern traffic light, the perfection of the carbon fleet, or the use of the mathematics that propelled Apollo astronauts to the moon? African American culture is American culture, and African American discoveries are American discoveries. Without the accomplishments of African Americans, the United States could not boast the ingenuity and culture richness that we cherish. As we contemplate the changes and the injustice that African Americans still face, we remember the tragic way in which African American history began and draw inspiration from the heroes and trailblazers who fought under our country's principle that all people are created equal. These heroes and trailblazers, along with the millions of African Americans who have worked, created, invented, discovered, lived, aged, and died over the past 400 years, have molded our national character such that the United States would be unrecognizable and indeed lesser without their cumulative presence. The story of America is the interwoven progress, influence, and experience of many different peoples. As the federal commissions to commemorate the anniversaries of American and Spanish arrivals have demonstrated, if Congress saw fit to create federal commissions to affirm that our English and Spanish roots matter, then Congress should also see fit to affirm that our country's African American roots matter. It is my hope that the 400 years of African American History Act will create an opportunity to bring these stories to the forefront of our consciousness and create a space to discuss race relationships in America as we focus on dismantling the institutional systems that have hindered African American progress. And this act was in conversation since 2016. And nobody even fucking knew. Like, there is probably voting that went, in place, and nobody even got no say so. You ready to go home? That shit just like, it's a fucking amazing actually. Like, it's pretty amazing. I think it's amazing for me simply because God made me aware. And it makes me know that I'm powerful. And everything that I've been sacrificing for myself and my family, it makes me feel confident knowing that everything that God has for me and His people is obtainable. And I will obtain His vision. Even if I don't go on a tangent of, you know me, I like to talk. I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. But I know that type of timing may not be, and I don't know, and there I go trying to doubt myself, but long story short, I don't know. I've been very vocal to everybody in my circle about what He's been implanting. I just never knew where to start. I never knew like what to say, and I prayed and asked God, like, speak those words into me so that I can communicate your desires. Shit's freaking amazing. It's a forceful energy of abundance of happiness, because He reveals all what is possible. And those who are not naive and not believing that He is almighty, that is God. And people of power who control the minds of over millions of fucking people, they bow down to God. It was scientifically inevitable. His people are us, the chosen one.
Serena, you coming?
I'm coming too. Right there.
Hi, Mama, Mama, Mama. Hi, Mama, Mama. Let's see what's this. Hi, Mama, Mama, Mama. Mommy, do you like this picture? Mommy, what did this say?
Love.
What did this say?
Love.
What did this say?
Love.
Why do everything say love? Why is some stuff a bit all day? When that little girl monster, some stuff that
Leave it alone.
What the? Mama, do you do gonna? Mama, do you do gonna? Mommy, I'm gonna put this in your shirt because you're my mommy and I love you. Mommy, mommy, mama,
Alright, y'all, I'm out.